Hello, everybody. Welcome to Zeus Angel Mystic Tarot. And so I'm doing a collective reading today, and I'm also going to be taking questions from subscribers. Bear with me, you guys. I have bad allergies as per usual. So I'm a little out of breath, but I'm here for you guys. And yes, I will be taking one question or doing one card pull for subscribers in the chat. But I am going to first do a collective reading until everybody gets notified because this is an impromptu live. So let's pull some oracle cards and let's get a collective vibe check. All right, so I'm using all of my oracle cards. We're going to start with the Kipper. So I'm going to pull a few cards from the Kipper, the Wisdom, Chakra Oracle, and the Grace cards, just to get things started while YouTube sends out its notification to y'all. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. You know how it works. And click the little bell icon for notifications. How y'all doing? I'm personally feeling very tired and exhausted. Really, I'm exhausted. So I don't know if y'all are feeling that, but I am so ready for the astrological new year to begin. And that energy isn't starting until February. So we still have some time to wade through the dead of winter. What do we got going on for the collective here? Judication. So some of you guys could be dealing with legal matters. You know, there's a lot going on and globally. So this could also just be what's fair, what's right. And I like this sense of feeling judged or interrogated. Okay. Actually, let's switch decks now. And then we have marriage. So I feel like with judification and marriage here coming out already, especially because, you know, this collective is about what's blocking you in love. So a lot of you guys have the pursuit of marriage on your mind, or the thought of it, or the thought of a long-term relationship. Okay. Remember, this is just the collective part. I will be taking questions from subscribers. Hello. I'm giving people a chance to get notified. So I'm doing a collective while I give people a chance to get notified. And then I will be doing one card pull for subscribers. So go ahead. You can put your questions in the chat and I will get to them. We're just giving people a chance to be notified. Okay. How y'all doing? I hope you all are having an amazing start to your weekend wherever you are in the world. So we already have marriage on the mind or a long-term relationship. Okay, to me, this looks like, you know, getting a marriage certificate, you know, because we have beautification and marriage on there. But it doesn't have to be about marriage, although I know y'all come to tarot for love. What's blocking love? Soul. Practice good soul care. The quality of our outer life is always dependent on the quality of our care we give to our soul. So yes, and 2026, you guys, hasn't started astrologically, and it's going to be about the self because it breaks down numerologically to 1. It goes from the year 9 to 10, which is 1. Okay. And to me, that's about self-care. And if you guys aren't taking care of your soul, if you aren't taking care of yourself, if you're choosing people based out of lack, if you're choosing based out of scarcity or out of trauma, then that's going to cause a lot of friction. And like basically you're moving farther away from having a good, healthy relationship with anyone if you don't have a good, healthy relationship with self. Okay. It all starts with yourself. And I say it all the time. Hey, everyone in the chat. Hey, guys. So yes, be patient with me and giving people a chance to be notified. And then I will be taking questions, 1 card per subscriber. All right. So go ahead, engage in the chat, put your questions in the chat. All right. And I will get to them. We have receive. Yes. Okay. So the thing is that I feel like I know that a lot of the collective attaches themselves to people who are unavailable or are not right for them. And that's because I feel like we're not ready to receive yet. When we open ourselves up to others, we open ourselves up to the abundance of the universe. So there's something here about your soul not being ready to receive love, and it could potentially be you yourself being emotionally unavailable, being scared, or having some self-worth issues. Okay, sometimes we don't think we're good enough. There's this fear there, or there's this fear of repeating cycles, or we're not really ready for love because it scares us. Like, what if I open up to this person and I show them who I am and they reject me? Okay, so yes, we all feel that way in relationships at times. And if we are not having radical self acceptance, then it's going to be triggered. It's going to trigger our self esteem in our relationships. Relationships are a mirror to how we feel about our inner selves. Okay. And there it is. I just said it. Self. There's the self right there. Go within. When we invest more energy in developing our spiritual lives, the outer world begins to take care of itself. And this is all kind of coming together because I don't believe in twin flames. I do believe in divine unions, though. And the thing is that if we want a divine union or a healthy, long term committed marriage and relationship here, as we see with the beginning cards, we have to rise up to the occasion. And it begins with the self care, and it begins with, how do I talk to myself? How do I see myself? Do I compare myself to other people? Do I think that I'm worthy? It all goes back to the shadow self. Okay. So yeah, if you don't have a relationship to yourself or to the divine or to spirituality, you could be really missing messages in your external world with the people that you attract into your life. Because I think that we shirk the responsibility of the accountability onto the other person. They were shitty to me. They didn't treat me right. They were this, that, and the other. While we're not taking accountability for the relationship we have in ourselves, with ourselves. And it's reflected in the people that we attract. All right. If you want to know how someone feels about themselves, look at the people that they date. Okay. And I can speak from experience here. I attracted a lot of abusers because I was abusive to myself in the way that I talked to myself and the things that I allowed in and the boundaries that I did not have with other people. And that's a direct example of me in my life, not being in touch with self, not receiving real love, attaching myself to unavailable people because I myself was unavailable because I didn't think I was good enough. So these are the things that could be blocking us in our love life collectively. Okay. So it looks like there's some people in the chat. If you guys are ready, I can do a poll for you, a one card poll. So let me know. I'm just waiting for you guys to put it in the chat. Let's see. Healing Heart says, Aries, try to rekindle things with me again. Not sure why we stopped talking. Are you still there, Healing Hearts? Let me know if you're still there. Otherwise, I'll continue on with the collective, guys. Okay. Actually, let me get a card from the other deck. Then we have Beauty. Yes, sometimes we think that we're not good looking enough for love. And that's, once again, that goes back to self-care, that goes back to receiving. So Beauty. Surround yourself with simple pleasures. Beauty is the language of the divine. So to me, I just feel like this is talking about how you feel about your looks and things like that, because it's triggering in relationships. It can be, absolutely. But to start with radical self-acceptance of your looks and of yourself, and know that you are worthy of love despite how you look, right? The divine loves you, and the divine wants you to love yourself. And 100%, that's what we're going to be shifting in 2026. Now, it sounds boring. You want to know what Kevin thinks about you. You want to know what Sarah thinks about you. But what do you think about yourself? And it is a direct reflection of your spiritual, moral bankruptcy or abundance. Okay. So yes, go ahead and put your questions in the comments, and I will pull a card. I don't see any. I don't think that Healing Hearts is with us anymore. If you're there, let me know, and I'll pull a card for you. I just started redoing these lives, the free card, so free questions. So it might take a while for people to start coming around. We have Perception, Heart Chakra. So yes, healing the heart chakra is all a matter of perspective and willingness to perceive, like how do we perceive ourselves, how do we perceive other people, and how do we perceive our own sense of healing with our love and with our partners. Hey guys, I'm just going to do the collective until I see a question in the chat. Feel free to put your question in the chat if you're a subscriber. If not, I'm going to probably be doing these every weekend. Oh, and then we have forgiveness. So the forgiveness in this deck is represented by the third eye chakra. And so this is forgiving yourself for how you show up in relationships and forgiving other people. And because let's say that we've had a lot of relationships that were not good for us and we've given up kind of on love, and now we have a perspective on love that's negative. That actually in and of itself and sort of calcify your heart and push people away further, because you're blocked off. Your heart chakra is blocked off because you're walled up because you've been hurt so much, and you're probably feeling wounded with your self-esteem and your self-worth, thinking I'm just not lovable, there is no love. Okay, so that's kind of the spiral I'm getting. But once we start to forgive ourselves and forgive the people who've hurt us, that can help us to transmute the pain so that we can be open to receiving love again. Where y'all at? I'm just gonna hang out and wait to see if anybody needs a card, needs a reading. All y'all Saturday. Let's see. Then we have acceptance. Yes, I was saying that before, self-acceptance. So it's really important. So if we don't accept ourselves, if we don't have radical self-love, radical self-acceptance, then we're going to have a hard time receiving love. And this is the root chakra. So, and I honestly, I can stop right now because it's all the same. It's all goes back to the self-acceptance and how we treat ourselves and what we think that we are, what we think that we deserve. So, and I'm hoping that the collective in 2026 can stop putting the focus on and the shift and the accountability out of self and just work on the relationship with self, because that's the biggest blockage that I'm seeing here in this reading is self, how we perceive ourselves, how we care for ourselves, and who we allow into our sphere and how that reflects what we think of ourselves. Because your relationships are a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself. And you are the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. So if you're attracting people and you think about, the people from your past and you look at them and you think, I don't like any of them, that is a direct reflection on you and yourself. But if you don't relate to that anymore, then maybe you've changed. You see what I'm saying? I don't relate to those people. I would never want to be with those people on my past, because I've done the self-work. I've elevated a little bit. I love myself more. I know that I'm capable to receive love. And I radically accept who I am and my shortcomings. And that's reflected in the people around me. So if you don't, let's say, for example, you for the longest time wanted your ex to come back. Now you've fallen out of that because you don't relate to that person anymore because you've changed. You have a better relationship with yourself. Once you have a better relationship with yourself, kind of that yearning and that longing for the validation of people who maybe rejected you or, whatever they did, that stops. And you'll start craving different types of people or wanting to spend more time alone because you understand the value and the worth of your presence, your presence, and what you bring to the table. So there's that shift in the collective because people are starting to value themselves more and understand, instead of self-love, self-acceptance, because the love part, I think, gets convoluted. And I think self-acceptance is what we're going to be working towards more. Self-worth, self-acceptance, radical self-acceptance, and understanding that your energy and your presence is very valuable. So, and once you start understanding that, you can kind of open your heart chakras more and be more willing to receive love because you know that you're worthy and you know that you don't have to bring anything to the table other than yourself. And if people don't want that, then it's no reflection of you. It's just not a match. That's it. Okay, it's not a match. Moving on. And then there's no need to hold on and to linger to people onto people who don't see your value, who don't see your worth, or where there's no real chemistry or connection underneath all of that. Um, so I see a few people in the chat. If you have a question, put it in the chat and I will pull a card for you. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep doing the collective reading. Let's pull some tarot on it. But yes, so what is blocking love for the collective? It all goes down to self-worth, forgiveness, self-acceptance, and having a different perception on past and forgiving the past as well. Because I think sometimes when we get caught up on wanting an ex back into our lives, it's because we see them potentially as more valuable than we see ourselves, and or we have this deep wound where it's like I can't get over the betrayal, maybe I'm not good enough. It triggers that sense of self-worth, so we get stuck on wanting to have that person back without really realizing if we had a different perspective, we would see, oh, okay, I don't want to be with someone who doesn't want me or who doesn't value me. I don't need to sit and think about what went wrong because I know that it's not a worthy use for my time to be with someone who doesn't value my presence, who doesn't want to connect with me. I let it go easily without harm, and I let it go with grace, and I accept and I love and I forgive them and I forgive myself, and now moving on. And I'm not holding on to that, like rigidly holding on to their love, attention, energy, or their rejection, because we can hold on to a rejection for a really long period of time because we think that we are not valuable. So yes, the more that you do that work, the shadow self work and the radical self acceptance and the being open to receive love, you'll see that you're going to get over people who aren't interested in you a lot quicker. You'll be getting over rejection a lot quicker, and you'll be aligning more with people who do value your presence because you'll be able to recognize red flags and not. Because I used to hold on to people despite the red flags because I needed that validation that if this person just liked me, that means something about myself. And it was something that I was subconsciously unaware of. And you guys know I talk about the collective unconscious and the subconscious all the time. So if we don't understand why we value certain people who reject us, then we're going to continue to crave things that cause actually more harm and more suffering. So to recognize that, oh, okay, this is my pattern. This is why I'm showing up like that in relationships. It's because I didn't value myself. It's because I just needed the validation because I have childhood wounds of neglect or something like that. Speaking from personal experience. Once you know thyself more, the shadow self, the wounds, the triggers, and you begin to kind of integrate that into your higher awareness of self and how you show up in your behaviors, it really vastly changes the type of people who you attract. And you're going to, when I say vibrate, I mean you're going to put off a different energy, and then people will feel that shift. Really. And you'll see your circle might get smaller, but it will be more authentic and it will be more genuine. Okay, let's pull some tarot on it. Anybody who wants a tarot card pull and is a subscriber, go ahead and put it in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep doing the collective. The collective. Okay, let's pull some tarot on it. Let's see, which card deck do I want to use? Oh, Osho Zen Tarot. I love it. How many of you guys know who Osho is? He's a guru. Also, if you click under the lives tab, I've been doing all of the signs for January. So you can go to your individual sign. I recommend checking out the rising and the moon placement. Okay, all right. So let's see. What does the collective need to know or need to work on? What blockages does the collective have when it comes to attracting real love? Chat is open for questions now. For one card pull, if anyone wants it. Okay, so we have adventure. Page of Pentacles. Hi there. Hi, Reaction King. I knew that you would show up once I started doing the free questions. Okay, so I will answer your question, but let me finish what I was saying. So Page of Pentacles. So I feel like sometimes we don't approach love with playfulness and adventure. I think that we see it as, I feel like we see it as a game, as a collective, or we see it as like something that we have to like orchestrate or be calculated. So finding a sense of adventure and play when it comes to attracting people. Reaction King, do you have anything on your mind, or you just want a random card? I'm gonna use a different deck for that. Let's see. I'm trying to decide which deck to use. Okay, I'm gonna use the Thoughts deck. Do you have a particular question in mind? Only, I'm not doing whole readings, just be mindful that I'm only pulling one card per subscriber. I was thinking random. Okay. Let's see here, old friend. What do we have for Reaction King? Oh, 10 of Swords. Uh-oh. So, we pulled the 10 of Swords, Reaction King. So to me, I see that as, you said, for the future. Okay, so the thing is about the 10 of Swords is that it deals with the mind. And because it's the 10, it deals with the end of thinking a certain way or processing of a difficult situation or ending. So for this in the near future, this to me is saying it's almost telling me that there's something that you're thinking about a lot in regards to an ending or regards to an old way of being. So I don't know if there was an ending in your life, if there was a betrayal, or if you just had a lot of negative thoughts in your head, because you know the 10 is the beginning. So to me, this represents kind of the beginning of you getting over a difficult period of time or something difficult or heavy that you were thinking about or dealing with, because the swords are the mind, and this to me is like processing a betrayal, processing an ending, or having maybe even a lot of anxiety or thoughts in your head that were heavy and negative. You have carrying, yes. You used to ask about a particular person a lot, so I don't know if that person betrayed you, if it ended, or if you're just trying to not think about it anymore, because I think that this was a heavy burden for you. Like it could have brought up a lot of negative thoughts in your head about yourself. So this is actually a good thing. The 10 of Swords is often given a negative connotation, but it's the end of a difficult time. It's like either you're still processing the thoughts of it, or you're trying to move past it. You know, we have the sword right through the heart. So I don't know. Yeah. If she doesn't come, it's done. Okay. You're having the last chance. So potentially it could be over. Well, it could just be that you're done being open to something that made you feel bad about yourself, because we have a sword through the heart there. And then we have the Libra scales at the top, which Libra is a sign of relationships. So I just feel like it's almost like a sense of I'm not leaving my heart open for this anymore because it doesn't make me feel good. But that means that from here on out, you're going to feel lighter, or you're going to feel better, because it's the ending and the beginning. So what's next now? Because maybe it's over, and that's kind of what I'm getting for you. And I'm getting that it's going to be like a sense of relief, because it's just like you've been carrying the weight of this or you've been feeling bad about it for however long period of time. And 2025 marks the end of toxic dynamics for a lot of the collective because we've been we're in the year of the snake, and it's something that we're completely shedding and completely ending. And it's like a relief, but it's also like there's this sense of new me. Okay. And I was saying before in the beginning about the self, because the year 2026 breaks down to number one. And one I see is as a new beginning, as something new, as something fresh, but also a new sense of identity and how you have boundaries around and with other people. Like having better boundaries, putting yourself first, and not putting yourself in a situation that makes you feel bad about yourself. That's for the collective. That's for everyone. Oh, 4 years, huh? Yeah, well, you have at the end of the day, you can't let someone lead you on. You can't let someone lead you on. And actions speak louder than words. I always say that, you guys. If somebody has the intentions to take actions in making something grow with you, you'll know it. You can't allow yourself to be confused by someone's words. Actions speak louder than words in relationships. Um, you know, People write love songs, and you'll hear in the love songs, you could tell it was real love because, like there's that song, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, people, or like that song, I would walk 5,000 miles. People will do things, move mountains, move across the ocean for someone that they really want to work on a relationship with. And if that's not happening, then it's just one of those situations where I think I'm being strung along. And you have to realize that you can't trust what people say because sometimes they don't want to take accountability for the fact that they're not treating you right, or they're leading you on, or they're not as invested as you are. So you have to take action to protect yourself. And I see you doing that here. I just see you not being as open and as available in the same way that you were, because the 10 of swords, it gets a bad rep, but it's good. It's like that period of time is over, and now I'm on to something else. So it looks good for you, actually. Sorry guys, I'm only doing one card, so I don't see anyone else in the chat. I'm gonna go back to the collective read, guys. Reaction King says people have bad habit of not choosing good people. You started smoking cigarettes. That's not good. That's slow self-destruction. Oh, you should have asked about the cigarettes next time, okay? I don't see anyone else in the chat, but I can't do full readings on here. I can't let people think that I'm doing that because that burned me out last time. So if nobody else is in the chat, then I'll probably end the live there. But I'll go back to the collective reading. We got the Ten of Swords again for you. You got the Ten of Swords in two different decks. I'm not pulling for you specifically anymore, Reaction King. But to me, this is rebirth. So this is the same card, and I may as well direct it towards you and your energy. I said before, like, you're changing, and on here we have a lion. So I feel like you're having a rebirth 100% after this ending. And to me, I feel like, you know what, you're going to be more assertive, because I think in the past that you were not so assertive, and you might even be a little meaner to people. I'm hearing that you might be meaner, but that it might be what you need to do. I feel like you're going to be very uncomfortable because I think in the past you were had your heart on your sleeve. And I think that this shaped you to be a little bit more jaded, because I think that you got strung along. I'm just channeling, okay? So yeah, Reaction King, there's the lion on there. I think that you might be a little bit more cold or meaner or detached. You're not going to be who you were anymore. That person is gone, and this shaped you. So I don't want you to like go and be jaded and bitter, because I'm picking up on that. You don't have to be mean to people. You just have to be more discerning
and to not allow yourself to be manipulated, because I know that you're Pisces and Cancer and you're a water sign, and the water signs love like no other signs. And a lot of the times people take that for granted, or they get the ick because they're unavailable. And it has you feeling like shut down, like you can't love how you love because other people can't receive it. But that's not true. You just have to be more discerning with the people that you give love to. Yes. So I don't, Reaction King, this is a little bit of a warning, because you're gonna be a different version of yourself. You're not the same. You're changing. But I don't want it to shape you to be bitter, because you could sabotage potential good relationships because of your healing. Like, your heart is broken a little bit. And it's good for you to learn to not be so open, but I don't want it to make you be like this hardened version of yourself. Okay. So you're gonna be different towards people, and that's fine. You're I feel like you're stepping into a phase in your life where you're like gonna be, I'm gonna say this in astrological terms, you're gonna be more like a lion, like a Leo. Okay. You're gonna be more like a Leo. And the way that that is I think now that you've realized, I'm not getting the attention that I need, and now I need to get the attention that I need because I was not getting it. So I'm going to be all about me. I'm going to get the attention that I need, and I might be a little meaner. So, and I'm not saying be mean, but be more discerning with who you show your love to. If you need to get your needs met, you can still do that in a positive way. Okay, I'm moving on now. So yes, this is an ending, and I think you're gonna go through a period of time where you act like a jerk to people, because I think that in your head you think that you have to be like a bad guy, and you don't, because I think that you're going through your dark night of the soul, and now you're gonna start being a jerk and being an ass. I'm sorry, I'm saying, I don't want to offend you. This is what I'm channeling. I think that's what you're thinking, that you have to be mean, and that you have to be like one of those bad guys because that's who women want. No, you've just been attracting unavailable people. Okay, so be careful. Be careful, because I don't want you to turn into like James Dean and destroy your life because some girl strung you along. Okay, so take with that, do with that what you will. I hope that helps you. This could be a good change for you if you don't self destruct and if you don't shut off your heart. Okay, you could get your needs met without being mean. No, I am just gonna be a jerk to mean people. All right, okay. Hey, do what you need to do, but be careful to not self-destruct. We have another question in the chat here. Okay, yes, I thought that you went offline. So, Healing Hearts, your question is only one card, not a full reading. So just remember that. It says, Will Nas Aries try to rekindle things? Not sure why we stopped talking. Okay. I scared you. Good. Don't be mean to people who don't deserve it. Okay, don't take out your frustrations. Hey guys, make sure you hit the thumbs up, the like button, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. So for Healing Heart, you want to know if they're gonna rekindle things. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions. First of all, were they good to you? Second of all, have you expressed how you feel to them? Um, and are you sabotaging new connections because you want this past person back? Because I honestly, you guys, I really don't like doing X readings. I think if it's over, it's over, and we should just let it be. You also started smoking. Oh, I did not. Okay. All right, Healing Hearts. If you really want to know about a past person, you want to know what their actions are, I always recommend focusing on yourself and asking the spirits if it's even good. If that person in that connection is even good for you, because maybe it's not. Maybe it's meant to end. You know what I mean? He says, yes, he was nice. And when I expressed how I feel, he reciprocated. He's not too much of the past. I just met him. I just don't understand our connection yet. All right. I'll pull a card for you. But I'm going to rephrase the question. I'm going to ask spirits, angels, and guides if it's even a good thing for you. I I hope you understand why I'm doing that, because I don't want anyone to focus on something that maybe is not meant to be. So let's see. We'll pull one card and we'll see what spirits have to say on this connection for you. Okay. We have one card flip up and it's the Chariot. So this is actually looks pretty good, to be honest with you. So I'm not promising anything because we could pull another card tomorrow and it says Eight of Swords or something like that. But right now, the Chariot. So this could be a good thing for you. I'm not going to give advice or anything like that because it's up to you what you do with your life. But this looks good. I mean, they might. Do they live at a distance from you? Because when I see the Chariot, I typically think that there's travel involved or there's something about forward action and forward momentum. This is Cancer energy. I don't know if either of you guys have Cancer in your chart, but it looks pretty good, to be honest with you. So, I mean, this looks pretty good. But just keep in mind that tarot is talks about the current moment and how someone feels right now. So how do they feel right now about it? I mean, they might want to make a move. They might want to come see you. Will it go anywhere from there? It remains to be seen, but it looks pretty good. You're a Cancer? Oh, wow. I feel like the spirits are really tapped into what we're doing right now. That's your energy. This is about you. So I think also this is basically about you questioning whether there can be a future here because of the distance, because the Chariot talks about forward momentum, but I always see it as being presented with two different roads to go down. There's something about duality with this because, and I think about that poem, Shall I Take the Road Less Traveled? Right? Like, is it good for me? Will it go anywhere? Because long distance relationships are really hard. I don't know if it's long distance. So this looks pretty good right now, but it's basically saying you're at a crossroads. I mean, you might hear from them, but I think this is more about spirits, angels, and guides are kind of telling me to put kind of the energy back on yourself to like envision whether or not it could be good for you to do that, because there would be an obstacle in between you two, that being the distance or something like that. Is it realistic? And am I willing to move for them? You said it's long distance, right? Yeah, because the thing is that now I was in a long distance relationship not that long ago. I mean, it wasn't a real relationship, but all I'm saying is that if you're gonna upend your whole entire life for someone, you want to make sure that that person would be willing to do it for you. Otherwise, it builds up resentments. Like, say for example, I'm dating someone in Ireland or something like that. And also, how much distance is there? Because if I have to upheave my whole entire life and then I'm completely dependent on that person, and they wouldn't do that for me, there's going to be an unequal exchange of energy in a relationship that could end up being very unhealthy in the future, especially if you have certain expectations that that person isn't willing to adhere to because you gave things up to move to them. You understand what I'm saying? If two people aren't willing to do the same thing for one another, one person will always be giving more than the other, and that creates tension, it creates resentments. And so it's just like you have to think about it from a realistic perspective and it's a head over heart decision. It's a head over heart decision. And you have to see yourself there, but you also have to have a realistic view on how that person is going to act when you get there. And do they really appreciate it? Or, are they just going to leave me later? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm getting with all of this. You came from different cultures. Oh, wow. Oh, it's very long distance. He works with you? Oh, okay. So yeah, that's a very tricky situation. Um, and I would really be careful because if you upheave your whole life for someone, you could end up in a dynamic that's it could be very, very good, but you want to be honest with whether or not that person would do the same thing for you. And if it would really be good for you, or if it's just like, I'm willing to do this, but they're not. Because otherwise, once again, it will be you giving more energy to them. So, but anyways, it's basically saying that you have a huge decision to make. So, good luck with that. And spirit angels and guides are telling me not to focus on them, not to focus on what they're going to do and not to focus on what they're going to do in the short term, but focus on what would they do in the long run. Does that make sense? Because we get carried away with love, and we get carried away with feelings, and then we do things for people that they wouldn't do for us, and then we have these expectations that can cause resentments and stuff like that. So I dropped all the cards on the floor. I would say, to start out as friends, and like, you have to be willing to be inconvenient to this person. Like, yeah, I'll come see you, but are you going to come see me? You have to kind of see if that person's willing to put in the same amount of effort. Would they leave everything that they have to be with you? Because if not, how would it make you feel to know that? Do you know what I mean? And I don't think it's like an easy thing. You're welcome. Okay, I dropped a bunch of cards on the floor. Overall, it's very positive though. So, good luck. I hope it all works out for you guys. I've never been to Russia. I know someone who lives there, and it really intrigues me. Okay, you guys. I'm not sure if anyone else is in the chat, so I'm probably gonna get on out of here. I'll pull a few more cards, and then I'm gonna get out of here. All right. So for anyone who is out there wondering what's blocking their love life, what else do we have here? Oh, we have silence, and we have the Lovers in reverse. Okay, so I feel like a lot of the collective is probably still processing an ending of a relationship or a fallout, and there could potentially be some no contact type of situation. Okay, but with these two energies together, I feel like your guides are trying to protect you, and they're trying to redirect you, because this is the Star card, and what that is you aligning with your values, you aligning with the right partner. So I feel like a lot of you guys right now, what's blocking you in love is that you have not aligned with your guides, with the divine, in a way that is good or that is healthy. Okay, so some of you guys are being protected right now, and spirit angels and guides are trying to direct you towards a different relationship, but there's some sort of sense of still being stuck on a disconnect. Okay, you guys, I'm just gonna get on out of here. But yes, so keep an eye out for future lives, because I'll be doing more of these kind of lives in the future. So if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell icon so that you can be notified when I go live. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. I hope that you guys have a great Saturday, great rest of your Saturday, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.